Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And in this lesson, I wanted to highlight something that I think is becoming more prevalent, as the days go on. And, now it's interesting how the understanding, or even the thought of Jacob's trouble or a time like that is not, it doesn't sound like a conspiracy theory anymore, because really, on a very light degree, even regular average individuals are starting to sound like us when it comes to, the direction of things that are going in. Okay. Now, I think I mentioned this before, but I was watching a video it was a clip that was of this lady talking about the basically the situation in Pittsburgh, about lack of police power or manpower, law enforcement manpower, and therefore they're letting their people know, look, don't call us. All right, don't call us for things like assault, harassment, burglary, and all of those things, expecting anybody to show up, because we're not showing up to that. All right, we just don't have enough people. Okay, and that's on the law enforcement side. Now, similarly, even though it's not being talked about as much, but similarly and eventually, you're going to start to see more and more of this happen with more essential workers. Okay, firefighters, EMT, actual 911 responders. Okay, and as these things happen, it wouldn't be surprising for them to start incorporating more of AI into these roles to try and mitigate, all right, some of these troubles that they're facing. Okay, but if you've been paying attention, you can sort of start to see that it's literally, for those that have seen the movie or the movie series, The Purge, the concept of it was a day, I think for a certain amount of hours, all crime is legal. And this is once a year, okay, that they all agreed, it's kind of like how today you have, I don't know, Columbus Day or whatever, any other holiday, but this was like a special occasion, and that's what the Purge was about. Now, obviously, that's not what they're going to do now, or at least not what they're doing now, when they're not openly coming out and saying, hey, all crime is legal for the next 12 hours, go. But in an indirect way, in a roundabout way, you're seeing them sort of create a scenario, okay, or put certain pieces in certain places to create that environment, that purge-like environment. Law enforcement, and this isn't just in Pittsburgh or just in New York, but pretty much everywhere, that whole the same recurring complaint about lack of law enforcement agents. You're hearing that everywhere. Okay, and with more people to have to police and less manpower to do the policing, you're going to have a lot of cases that are going to get swept under the rug, not even get looked at. And what's that going to do? That's going to embolden more and lead to more crimes, more assaults, more of these things, because eventually it's just going to become, people are just going to become desensitized to it. It's going to become like second nature. Like, oh, you could just get assaulted, but so what if you call the cops? Nobody's coming. They don't handle that anymore because there's so few of them. So I have an article here, a quick one that I was reading, and it was basically along the lines of this same thing. Once I can pull it up. Yeah. So this is from zerohedge.com. The headline reads, Law Enforcement's Abysmal Clearance Rates. In Houston, a scandal recently broke when it became public that the police department had closed the investigation of over 250,000 crimes, with a code indicating the case was being dropped for lack of manpower. See, so not that the case just wasn't important, or the case, was like leading to a dead end, or it was inconclusive, or it was conclusive, but they just didn't have enough people to actually enough resources to be able to put them on this case. The cases closed included thousands of murders and sexual assaults. The department did not inform victims or their families that the investigations had been closed. So it was just this once again swept under the rug. That's it. While the disclosure was has roiled Houstonians, it should be of no surprise to anyone that law enforcement agencies generally do an abysmal job at solving crimes. Now imagine you were a family member of somebody that got sexually assaulted, or got murdered, and here it is, like they'll say you're looking for justice, for them, and you find out that years ago or months ago, your case was closed. It's not even being looked at. So this person is just walking around scot-free. And you better hope they weren't an illegal migrant, because at that point, just leave it. All right. So once again, say, now this person is walking around free. They're like, yo, they're not even investigating the case. Like, if they didn't catch you red-handed at the spot right there, and even in some cases, if they did catch you, depending on the situation, it's like they're not really doing anything. But if they didn't catch you right there, and this dude just managed to escape and he's gone, and they're not looking into this case, he's gone. The damage is done. You're hurt and he's gone. And he's probably going to go hurt somebody else. So, matter of fact, let me get this quick precept that just came to mind. But what people are going to start to realize is that you cannot look to Egypt for protection, because you're not going to get any help from that. When I say Egypt, I'm referring to America. All right. As is biblically known also as Egypt. Okay. So let's go there real quick to the book of Isaiah chapter 31 and 1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. So, and let me just finish this. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So the point here being the Egypt, okay, being today's day America, these people that put their faith and trust in their American government and their law enforcement and all of these things, the scriptures say, woe unto you, because you look not unto the Holy One. So they turn to a tangible resource, because they can see it in their eyes. They can see power and safety in that, but there's really not. The ultimate savior is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, but they're not looking to the Most High. They're not looking to Yahweh Shai. They're looking to save their life via carnal means. And now it's starting to become apparent that those means are not going to be able to help you. It's like if you got assaulted, here it is, you're a woman, it's late, you getting assaulted. And imagine hearing the person assaulting you telling you it doesn't matter if you scream, because ain't nobody coming. Imagine you getting assaulted by somebody that is well up to date with current events, and they've like planned all this out, and they're like, listen, ain't nobody even gonna look into this case, so don't worry about it, sweetheart. Imagine a situation like that, where the more crime goes up, the more it'll continue to go up, because it becomes a trend. One person breaks into the store, nothing happens. Another person breaks into the store, 3 other people break into the store, 5 other people break into the store, 10 other people break into the store, and they realize, yo, hold up, ain't no cops? They're not doing nothing about this? Oh, word? Then they go and do it. They do it once, it works, they call their boys. Now they and their boys do it. Now it becomes a thing. Okay? So people are starting to realize that, this kingdom is not going to be your help. Okay, it's not going to be your help, and in fact, you lean onto this place for support, you're gonna end up getting hurt. All right, you're gonna end up getting hurt. Now I want to jump down to this part here. In this article, this part is also pretty interesting. So it reads, I suspect that if you are seeing these numbers for the first time, you are shocked at just how low the rates are. I find it particularly infuriating that we only solve a third of rapes. Knowing how difficult it is for a rape victim to come forward in the first place, it is a travesty that we do such a poor job of delivering justice for the crime committed against them. And to make matters worse, most law enforcement agencies saw their clearance rates decline since 2019, with the spike in crime that occurred across the country. So the crime was going up across the country, and now you can double that or triple it because now you have more people coming into the country realizing that it's pretty much looking like a free-for-all. Although now just recently, which I'm seeing now, they're saying that the Supreme Court basically allowed Texas law to go into effect to make it a crime for migrants to enter the state without authorization. So I guess they can now take action against them. Now we'll see how long it lasts. We'll see what it actually does. But I mean, they said over 10 million of them have already entered the country under Biden's rule. So, this, unless they set up some system to say not only stop new ones from coming in, but you got to go and find every single one that's in here. That's going to be a very interesting campaign, that they set out for. All right. But this is society before a total collapse, right? There's still functioning parts of the society right now. And already this is how bad things are. So can you imagine as things get worse, as society crumbles even more, maybe something happens this with this eclipse that's going on, or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it happens before, maybe it happens after, but imagine something does go on. Maybe they say, hey, the eclipse messed with the radio frequencies or whatnot, and shut down a lot of services and systems. Who knows? But one more catalyst to push this place over the edge, and guess what? You're gonna see far worse things than you're seeing now. All right, and the other article I was looking at, which I'm really just gonna read the headline. But you can look it up and read more context on it. But basically it says illegal immigrants can possess guns under Second Amendment federal judge rules. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that should tell you, more than enough about, once again, the direction that this country or this place, really the world, is headed in. All right, the scriptures talk about that. Evils and incontinency is going to be multiplied. So, people ain't really ready for this, but it's ready for you. Okay, and you had better be paying attention. And as we read in Isaiah 31, if you're turning to this place for help, you're turning to Egypt for help and not to the Lord, you will get caught up. Okay, you will get caught up out there, and you're not going to get that help you're looking for. Okay, but those of us that put our faith and trust in the Lord, he's going to come through for us, always. Isaiah chapter 65, because he answers prayers. So he's known as the answerer of prayers. This is Isaiah chapter 65, verse, I'm going to start at verse 13. Therefore, now, here's a very important part, so listen closely. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, which is Old English for this is what the Lord says. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. That indicates that this is going to be in a time where food is very scarce or inaccessible to the majority of people. Because what's going to make them hungry? And why emphasize his servants eating while others are hungry? One example is like when there was a famine in Samaria, and because there was no rain, because Elijah had prayed for it so, but the Lord was feeding Elijah. And eventually when he was dwelling with the widow woman and her son, the Lord had them fed as well. But others were starving to the point where they were eating them and their children, right? Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. So when in the time when all these calamities come, because that's what's going to make people hungry and starving and thirsty and ashamed and afraid. But the Lord is saying that those effects are going to be in reversed for his servants. Verse 14, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. And you're already seeing the beginnings of it now. Yahweh Shai rightly prophesied that this was the beginning of sorrows. So that indicates to us that it's really only going downhill from here. Anyway, with that, I'm going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. Until next time, Shalom.